Hello, today I'll show you how to make a stock simulator in Scratch. As you can see, this is a stock graph, and there is a value that shows here, or you can look here, and you can buy stocks like this and have shares. And once you wait for the stocks to go up, you can sell them for profit. And if it goes higher, then it will scale so that it doesn't go off screen. So let's get started. First, delete the cat and paint a sprite. Name it stocks. Now, in code, when green flag is clicked, create a new variable called stock value for all sprites. Set stock value to, actually before that, create a block called create stock values, run without screen refresh, and now in here, set stock value to 1, then create a new list called stock values for all sprites, and delete all of stock values. Now repeat 365 times or any other time, and change stock value by a pick random inside of a pick random and another pick random like this. And now pick random -15 to -5 to 0 to 0 to 5 to 15. And now in here, we check if stock value is less than 0, then set stock value to 0. And now, add stock value to stock values. And now if we test, as you can see, we will have numbers that either go up or down. And now, to show it visually, add in a forever loop, and now click here and pen. And now erase all, create a new block called create graph, run without screen refresh, and in here, first set x to -240, then create a new variable called cycle for the sprite only, set cycle to 0, and then set y to item 1 of stock values plus -180, so that it's somewhere down here instead of in the middle. Now, with this, repeat length of stock values, change cycle by 1, and now pen down, go to, and now with a bit of math, plus -240 plus, and then a multiply, plus cycles times, and then a total from here to here would be 480, and 480 divided by length of stock values like this. And y will just be item cycles of stock value plus negative 180. Like that, and then pen up. Now, as you can see, now it will create a graph that shows the nice numbers. And now, to find the average and creating the average line, create a new variable called average value for all sprites, and place average value around here. And now in create graph, set average value to 0, then change average value by item cycle of stock values like that. And now in here, down here, set average value to average value divide by length of stock values, and then we round it so it's easier to read. Now, if else, and now we determine the color of the graph. If else, average value is greater than stock value, then set color to a nice green color. Else, set color to a red color. And now for the actual average line, set y to, and then now average value plus negative 180. And now pen down, set x to negative 240, then back to pen up, and then the cycle will start again. As you can see, now there's the average line. And now let's make this continuous. Now in here, duplicate the change stock value stuff and place it in here. And also add in a rounding. Actually, don't add a round. And now, in here, before this, actually delete the add and instead do insert. And now insert stock value to add, and now length of stock values plus 1, and then delete 1 of stock values. And now as you can see, everything will work, and it will create this nice value that either goes up or down. And now, to create that scaling so that it doesn't go off the screen, like as in if the value were to always go up, as you can see, it will just go off the screen. And now to fix this, or to counter this, create a new block called find highest value. Run without screen refresh and add an input called y max value or height. And now with this, place it here, and for now the max height should be set to 300. And now over here, to find the max height, set the cycles or cycle to 1 and create a new variable called highest value for the sprite only. Set highest value to 0, and now repeat length of stock values, and now change cycles by 1, and if item cycle of stock values is greater than highest value, set highest value to item cycle of stock values. And down here, if else, highest value is greater than y max height, then create a new variable called scale graph for the sprite only, and set scale graph to y max height divided by highest value. Else set scale graph to 1. And now with this, back in the create graph, and now in here for the set y's, set y to item 1 of stock values times graph scale, and same with this one, and lastly same with here for the average value times scale graph. And now if you test it and make it go up, as you can see, it will scale to it. And if it stops and we wait for it to, let's say, go down, like this, if it goes up, scales, then wait for this part to go away, then it will rescale until it goes back to normal, like that. And to add a bit of smoothness to it, create a new variable called scale smooth for the sprite only. And now change scale smooth by a divide, subtract, and now scale graph subtracted by scale smooth divided by 5. And now in here, replace scale graph to scale smooth like this. And now, as you can see, and also when green flag is clicked, set scale smooth to 0 to create this cool starting effect. And now we have the main system. Let's add the buy system and sell system. Create a new sprite called buy/sell. And now in here, use the box tool, create a button like this, and make it a good size. And now make the outline a good size. Make the outline a gradient. And now a darker gray and a lighter gray. And then in the fill, another gradient, horizontal, a dark green to a really dark green, or actually the opposite. Here's the darker green, but also less saturated green. And same here. And now with this, use the text tool, make the fill white, and do buy. And name this buy, then duplicate it, name it buy all, and type in buy all, and place it in the middle. And if needed, rescale the size a bit, like that. Now duplicate it again, this time call it sell, rename it to sell, rescale it a bit, and make the fill red instead. Duplicate sell, make it sell all, and rename it to sell all. And rescale if needed. Now you have these nice buttons. Now, when green flag is clicked, create a new variable called money for all sprites. And in here, place money around there. Now, set money to 300 as the starting and height. Now, go to 120 to 142 and switch costume to buy and create a clone of myself. Then switch costume to 120 to 165 and switch costume to buy all. And now this time duplicate this part, do sell and sell all, and this time 200 for X and the same for Y. And when green flag is clicked, show. Actually, when I start as a clone, show. And as you can see, you'll create the buttons there. And you can change the position if you want. Now, with this, buttons in here forever. And now, if else, touching mouse pointer, then change size by, divide, subtract, and now 100 divided by size divided by, well, 100 subtract size divided by 3. And if touching, then 110 to create this nice smooth effect when the player hovers over the button. And now, if mouse down, wait until not mouse down, and now we check which button we're pressing. Now, if costume number equals 1, which is buy, then create a new variable called shares for all sprites and set shares to 0 and place money near shares like this. Have this sort of layout. So then these buttons are here and you can see your values. And now here in shares we add an if money is greater than stock value, then change money by stock value times -1 and change shares by 1. Now the buy all button and make sure that it's like this. And now if we check if costume number equals 2, which is the buy all button, and now in here we check if money times, and now we do a bit of math. Now the floor of, and floor, the floor thing is basically rounding, but if it has a decimal 5.9, it will go 5, basically removing the decimal. And now money times floor of money divided by stock value plus 1, so that if it was a 0, it wouldn't go infinity like this. And if this is greater than stock value, then change shares by floor of money divided by stock value plus 1, and change money by stock value times -1 times floor of money divided by stock value plus 1. And now we check for the sell, which is just selling. And now in here, if shares is greater than 0, then change shares by -1, and change money by stock value. And now lastly, if costume is equal to 4, which is sell all, then in here, if shares are greater than 0, change money by stock value times shares and set shares to 0. And place this under the wait until not mouse down to create this giant thing. And now if we test like this, if we buy all, as you can see, we buy 7 shares. And now if it's going up, we can sell all to create a profit. Now to add a smooth effect when starting, add in a new variable called reveal. And for the sprite only, set reveal to 0 when green flag clicked over here, and then over here change reveal by a divide, subtract, and now do length of stock values subtracted by reveal divided by 5, and then repeat by reveal. And then if you start, as you can see, it'll create a cool and nice effect like that. And make sure that this one is actually average value is less than stock value, then the colors will be accurate. Now as you can see, if the stock value goes over the average value, then it'll go green. And now you have a nice stock simulator in Scratch. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.